Meeting the order, please join us in pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, roll call. Bob Freeman?
Yes.
Rick Morgan? Here. Frank Riley is here. Approval of the Selectmen's minutes for meetings on June 13th. I have the workshop meetings I'll bring up first. Make a motion we approve them.
Second?
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then I have the Selectmen's meeting of June the 13th. Make a motion we approve them.
Second?
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have the Town of Ossipee check vouchers total, weekend in 6/18/2016. Broke down the wages at $29,925.66, payroll taxes $9,399.95 for a total of $39,325.61. The accounts payable, batch total was $290,806.02. The school district payment is $875,327. The grand total for the, tough to say this, accounts payable is $1,166,133.02 for a total payment including wages of $1,205,458.63. Phew, can't say that too fast. There are some other checks in here. We had one with our first payment for the garage. That's in here as well. School payment, of course, is the one that's up front and rugged to do. Make a motion, we approve these
Second.
vouchers. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Even though the school's on vacation for the summer, payments aren't.
And that's not the biggest one.
No, we do have one that's over $1 million, but
1.4 next month.
Next month, 1.4 million.
I think I got them all, Bob. Double check it. We do have a couple of abatements tonight. Hopefully these are coming to a close. Most of the abatements now, well, I'm hoping the assessor has them processed by this point. These again are abatements that are filed for the tax year 2015. This one is on map 129, lot 32. Taxpayer filed the abatement for 2015 tax year. He is appealing because he believes inconsistency among land value on White's Pond. It says, I performed a complete inspection of this property. I have reviewed the information provided. The property for the taxpayer sites in his appeal are on College Road, which is listed as a D neighborhood. The subject is listed as an E neighborhood, which is slightly better. The neighborhood coding for the properties that are after this property on White's Pond is D neighborhood. It's an assessing term where they have the neighborhood depending on what the property actually consists of for its value, and that's how they list it. Make a motion. And this one here, he's changing it from $143,700 to $128,500. He's dropping the evaluation by $15,200. which enters into a refund of $316.62, $316.62. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second it?
Discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next one is on map 002, lot 002. And this one again was filed 2015, and according to the assessor, he says, I have inspected the unit and I have reviewed the information provided. I also did a site visit and checked the exterior dimensions. They are correct. I did not change the area code as a hanger to the garage. I did change the area code as a hanger to the garage. This is on an airstrip. This did not affect the assessment, therefore the assessment did not change, and the assessor has recommended that we deny the request for abatement. Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Discussion.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Other
Make a
than
motion to approve or?
to deny.
Denied.
To deny.
Thank you.
Correct.
Approved to deny. I got
I
you.
didn't say deny.
No, you should move.
I read too fast. This other one is another one. It's on multiple lots. It's on map 002, lot 001, 8, 12, 18, 19, 20, 29, map 003, lot 02, map 005, lot 02, and 23. Again, the assessor, this was also applied for 2015 tax year. It says, I have reviewed the information provided and see no compelling evidence to grant abatement. The taxpayer is citing assessed value that are incorrect. The taxpayer has not submitted an appraisal or any other professional opinion of value to support the abatement request. Therefore, the assessor is recommending that this one also be denied. The assessed evaluation has not changed. It's got original assessment $316,800 combined. So, make a motion, we deny this.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a letter going back to a taxpayer. Quite a lot of discussion with him where taxes weren't necessarily paid correctly and he got assessed a penalty. I've done a second review of it and answering him back that what the outcome of that review was. And make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second.
Discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a notice of an intent to cut timber. This is going to be tax map 109-6, 109-7, 226-3, backland off Mount Shaw Road. William R. Crowder, I believe is how you pronounce his name. It's not written so I could really read it in good shape. And the logger is going to be Timothy Nolan, Forest Land Improvements of Shikara. Taxes are paid. Cemetery on lot 109-6 and 109-7. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. What's today? 20th?
Yes.
Yes.
Can't remember. I have a check here come in through the transfer station for cardboard, $2,072.12, which is good. It's an income to the town. It's nice to be recycling items over there to the facility. I have the highway work log, anybody who wishes to look at it. I have a letter here from Public Works Director. You need that check plus a little more. This one is for the baler repair at the transfer station. It says the horizontal baler at the transfer station suffered a major breakdown last week. The baler ram and follower plate extended too far during the compact stroke and dropped out of the guides that hold them in place. When they went to retract, the follower plate was damaged along with the ram and the guides. This baler is the main workhorse for baling of cardboard, which we just got a nice check back for, newspapers, aluminum, and tin cans. The vertical baler is used primarily for the plastics. We tried baling newspapers in the vertical baler, and when the bale was finished, we unlatched the door and the pressure on the paper trying to expand popped the door open in an unsafe manner, so we stopped the process. Attached is a quote from Atlantic Recycling to repair the horizontal baler for not to exceed $9,405. These things happen. When you got equipment and you're depending on it and you're using it, and you've used it for a long time, you're gonna have repairs, and we don't look forward to them, but on the other hand, when they happen, we have to deal with them. Therefore, I make a motion, we approve $9,405 to repair the horizontal baler at the transfer station.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
When it add is talking with Brad to replace that baler is $70,000 or in that ballpark, so at this point, I think.
My question, how much is it?
Oh, well, they're,
About $70,000, so at this point, I think that it's probably a prudent.
9,000 repair, it's probably a lot to replace
it is. They're very expensive when you get into the hydraulics and everything else. Make a motion, we approve this.
Second.
Any discussion?
That was it.
All in favor? Aye. Then I have a letter here to the trustee of trust funds, withdrawal for the bridge replacement and repair. This again is the Valley Road Bridge. It's finishing up the surveying by White Mountain Survey for the amount of $3,321.25. Make a motion, we approve the memo.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor? Aye. A request here for an elderly exemption. It's been reviewed by the assessor, and the elderly individual who is applying for it is over the limit on the income. Therefore, we have to deny the request for this elderly exemption. Make a motion, we deny the elderly exemption.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Otherwise, two. One. We have a request for a raffle permit application from the White Horse Addiction here in Center Ossipee. Place of drawing will be the Indian Mountain Golf Course. Date and time will be September 22nd at 2 p.m. Make a motion that we grant this request.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
This is an annual request that comes in from the State of New Hampshire Department of Revenue Administration as to if we're going to use the inventory or taxable property form for 2017. It's been reviewed by our assessing desk. Just says this is our annual request to municipalities to determine whether the municipality will be utilizing the PA 28 tax inventory blank. And that's the one that goes out to all the taxpayers. At the old inventory form we used to know, right? We do not use it anymore. So we are answering back to the Department of Revenue Administration. It says we will not be using the PA 28 form in 2017. Make a motion, we approve this.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor? Aye. I have a request here for a contract to use facilities. It's for a photo of the Old Home Week events. And it's to use the town hall here, and it's going to be for 6:30 and 7/1.
It's a photo contest.
Photo contest? Yes. That's what this is, huh? Okay, time will be 10:03, 9 to 4. 10 to 3 and 9 to 4. I would assume that's 10 to 3 on 6:30 and 9 to 4 on 7/1.
I think you're right.
That's kind of how I think it falls in line. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
This is a contract that's sent up to us for Tanner Associates on the Whittier Covered Bridge, which we've had just some discussion prior to the meeting in our workshop. It's a little disheartening in one respect because based on the schedule laid out, that bridge is still quite a ways away from going back across the river. I'm not gonna speculate how far away, but it's not just simply weeks or months. This is for the first phase. This is the study phase, scope and service S1 through S8 for a lump sum price of $30,390. The unfortunate part about this whole project is we've all been talking of the bridge going back over in 2016. And I think we've repeated quite a lot this spring that we're getting more nervous and nervous and nervous. Now we're pretty well 100% sure it's not going to happen, but we will get this phase moving. We will work forward to try to manage the other phases, but anytime you deal with a federal program tied to a state program and then you're waiting in line for whomever is working these different things throughout those programs, it's in a hurry up and don't go anywhere this phase. So I'll make a motion, we sign contract for the study phase, S1 through S8, lump sum price of $30,390.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
The only thing I'd add is it's not just the approval process. There have been times when the state took, what was the one change order, 7 weeks?
About 5 months.
5 months to do a change order. I mean, it is, that bridge, we've been working on this now for almost 10 years. That came across since that was taken over. Initially, it was gonna be $1 million. Now it's gonna be $2 million. And with the schedule that Brad provided us earlier this afternoon, it ain't going back across the river in 2017. It is in all likelihood gonna be 2018 before that bridge goes back across the river. We're probably well past the point of no return because I got $900,000 worth of work already done to it. But it is beyond maddening and asinine that we were told 2016. It's what we've told our voters. We've already got to get reauthorization to change the money around so that we can expend it past 2016. I'm frustrated to the nth degree, and I probably ain't going to amount to anything. I do wish you would communicate with Hoyle and Tanner and see if they can't shorten up the days that they've got allotted for their sections coming up in this. Because if they could, I mean, right now, with the schedule that they've proposed, the bids are not going to be completed until 7/10 of 17. If they don't get the bids done by then, it ain't going across in 2017. It'll be 2018. If they can shorten their windows, their portions of it. I mean, in the engineering, it's 60 days that they've got, and then they got a bunch of other people to wait for. And then the design is 70 days. If they can shorten that, in the final design, they got an additional 50 days. If they can shorten those numbers, then it may in fact become realistic that it will get back across in 2017. If they don't shorten those numbers, there is no way that this is going back across the river in 2017. You're going to be definitely, if they don't get the bids done till July, by the time they get that out, you get a contractor, you're going to run out of building season in 2017.
We gotta go forward with it. We're committed to the point now, we don't have a choice.
I understand that, but I don't like lying to the townspeople, and we've been lying to them based on what we've been told. And what we've been told has not happened.
I think that you're gonna have to see the contract awarded no later than the end of March next year, if you have any idea whatsoever of going back across.
And that's what I'm saying, and if we can get Hoyle and Tanner, which is probably about the only one that we have any control over, because they're working for us. And I don't care if they have to put extra resources on it. At this point, with what we've spent, I'm not even afraid if it costs a little bit more, if they have to put more resources on it. But if we can speed them up, which is about the only thing in this whole process that we have any control over, then maybe it can get back across the river in 2017.
Can't we get them back in and have a chat with them?
They're lockstepped into a lot of this too. A lot of this isn't necessarily Hoyle Tanner having that. You know, unfortunately.
I'm not suggesting
I
it
know who
is.
it is.
I'm saying though, the only portion of this whole process that we have any control over is them.
Yeah, but they're also locked into when the funds are available, and we can talk to them, we can sit down with them, but,
If they can shorten those numbers, and I don't predict the state's gonna shorten theirs. Hell, we'll be lucky if they hold
Unfortunately,
to
you know,
their schedule.
I'm not trying to find excuses, but I worked for the federal government for 30 years too, and they're tough. Tough to get going. Dallas, you had a question?
Well, I was just wondering if there was any way we could demand that it get done.
You can't demand it.
We're trying.
It's been 10 years.
We're talking to federal government, they don't
but
listen to
I-
anybody's
it's
demands.
supposed to- Originally, I remember this being a federal project.
Oh, it's always been federal, but we could never afford it on our own. I mean, thank God, we're only paying, not even 20%. On portions of it, we're only paying 4%.
This section here only paying 4%.
So, the majority of this
So in
is
10 years, they haven't been able to figure out what they're gonna do to put it back together.
It's back together to the point where it could go across the river if we had the abutment. The abutments are something that have to be done. The abutments right now are the old abutments. They're gonna have to be rebuilt to receive
But
this
they knew
new.
that going in, and,
They know it, but they're
This
on
is
the-
precisely why some people hate government.
yeah, I got it.
Inefficient, and it will be, before we're done, there'll be $2 million in that
You
bridge.
end up on the eventual express,
And-
as I refer to it.
10 years from now, we'll spend another $2 million on it.
I know as a contractor, I probably would have been paying somebody for every day that it was late at this
Yeah.
point.
So make a motion, we signed it. Has a second?
You did.
Discussion?
And we've
All in
had it.
favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We'll keep you posted.
I've said several
it's on
times,
the
I
signature
never would have
required.
voted to approve $1 million. I sure as hell wouldn't have voted to approve $2 million.
Well, I don't have any comment on it, doesn't do me any good, so. One of these
Like a
cases
roller
where
coaster, you're strapped into and you want to get off and can't.
roll with the punches, I guess. We have a letter here from the State of New Hampshire DOT, Department of Transportation. They're gonna be replacing guardrails, and they show it on Route 16, just a dot in Ossipee. They don't really, get too precise on just exactly where they are. What they're doing is they're gonna be replacing, the old, cable-type rails with, solid metal rails. So they're supposed to be holding public hearings on it too, so expected to begin in September, anticipated completion date, again, June 27, 2017. Pre-construction meetings will be held by the contractor to which the town will be invited prior to the start of construction. So before they go off and do this, they're supposed to come in here and have another evening meeting with us to let us know just what guy. I know Route 28 still has some old, some of those cable guardrails with wooden posts, and they're supposed to be replacing them with the metal ones that have the shock absorber that goes on the end of them, which have been problems for some cars in the past, so there'll be more coming on it. We have Charter Communication, the old Time Warner Cable, just an update. Time Warner Cable is agreement with the programming broadcasters to carry the services and stations routinely expire from time to time. Is anybody interested in a copy of it, you're welcome to it. We also have here a copy of the schedule of the Executive Council for the State of New Hampshire. This is the Executive Council. Joe Kenny is our representative, where they go in, meet with the governors, so forth and so on, and how they spend our money. In this has highlighted areas which apply to Joe Kenny's area. Anybody who wishes a copy of this is welcome to read it, but there's very little in here that is for our area that really shows what's going on, but you're welcome to a copy if you want it. That's all I have in the red folder tonight. Old business, Whittier Covered Bridge, we'll pass right over that for the moment. I think we kind of discussed it already, I'm not sure. Highway Garage Edition, Brad, looks coming good
Coming
now.
along good, yep. They're, the roof purlins are about all up right now. I talked to the contractor briefly, today, a little bit getting caught up, after being off last week, but, it's right on schedule and everything, so it's looking good.
Good.
We're on schedule and on budget.
We'll be on schedule, we'll be under budget.
There you go.
We'll have a good news report on something.
We don't have any federal money.
That's right.
There you go.
No federal and no state, or else it would be snail's pace and 3 times the cost.
Intersection of Route 28, 171, we highlighted a memo last week, which Ed took to have signed, I trust you did. Another accident down there Friday of last week. The accidents at that intersection, someone tells me that since they were up here for their presentation, that last week's was the 4th accident since they were here June 1st. We did highlight in our memo that we thought they were using the wrong measurement because they want to say that it doesn't warrant signals or a roundabout, for example, because of the amount of traffic. Well, we highlighted in a memo that we thought the measurement should be the number of accidents, not the amount of traffic, because that intersection has been traffic accident after accident after accident, and someday I would like to hope I could see it come to an end. I don't know when.
I might have missed that. Did they have a suggestion on what they were going to do?
Their final decision on what they're gonna do is they're gonna put a turning lane in coming from Route 16, turning onto Route 171 towards the county complex. And then they got a couple of minor adjustments they wanna do to the islands, which I'm not sure how that's gonna change anything. I'm not gonna say the turning lane may not help, because a lot of the problems there are turning signals, but you're still gonna have now cars in the go-through lane with turning lights on, because they didn't cancel when they came off from Route 16. That particular exit is scheduled to be rebuilt when they start the 16 project in 2018. But I don't know. At this point in time, I don't know. Just don't have an answer. Chickville Cemetery Meeting House?
Point of order.
Sure.
I just wanted to offer the memo with the signatures.
Okay.
We had session last week and I sent it around and had our area rep sign it. So we're in solidarity with you.
Good. Thank you very much. This is try to help us with a memo we've prepared to go back to the state. Mr. Comeau took it, and he's had it signed by the representatives that represent us in this area to try to give it a little more oomph, to let people down at the DOT know that, you know, we still got a problem. And
I'm not at all convinced that what they're proposing is gonna solve the problem. I'm not saying it won't help. But if you look at the mechanics of the accidents we've had there over the years, they have not all been caused because of people turning right. And that's the only part of that that they're addressing. I don't hold much hope.
sometimes when they do their statistical data, when they do things like this, it's amazing how they measure it. They get their little measurement system, and that's what they want to go by. So hopefully it'll help. Ed, thank you very much for your assistance, and thank you, reps, for signing it for us. We do appreciate that. And I'm certainly sure the residents in the area will too. Chickville Meeting House, any?
I attended the meeting on Bob's behalf because Bob was tied up. We had the first meeting of the advisory committee. Went very well. We had it over at the church. Get some good input from them, kind of talked about how the lines of communication are going to work, and they're all very happy, and we'll keep moving on. They've decided they're going to meet quarterly. They did supply some information. He's got the notes, and I think Brad, something you're already working on. They talked about the furnace probably needs to be serviced before winter. And I know Ellen said when you do the propane bids, they do believe that it needs a bigger tank. They only, of course, ever run the heat over there when they have the service, which is pretty much only at Christmas time. And it frequently would run out of fuel before it got the building warm. So it probably would be a good idea to look at the gas tank size. And furthermore, I mean, while they have only ever used it at Christmas,
Somebody else may want to.
somebody else may well want to use it for weddings or funerals or otherwise. And they also are of the opinion, and I am, that we hope that building's going to get more use, not less. So I think we ought to proceed with that presumption.
I do too. See
The
what
more
size
it
we
is, the
need.
better it will be.
Get a bigger tank in there anyway.
The next meeting is gonna be in August. And I'd like to also, big hand for Frank Riley. He is gonna rebuild all the shutters on it, and they are pretty bad. And that's a big cost savings for them, and I'm sure he'll do a great job.
And I'm supposed to tell you too, Janice Tully has some extra slats.
Okay.
If there is a need. They had some extra slats.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
Big to add a boy for Frank, I appreciate it.
Got it in my workshop. Give me something to do in my spare time. So they need it, and it's unfortunate. We do have a shutter mill in town, but on the other hand, I'm willing to do it. I have a workshop, and I'll get them back together. Economic Development Committee update. Ash, anything?
Yeah, a couple little things. We met last week. The next meeting is the third Wednesday of July. We are going to have Ina LeMontagne come and speak for a little while, sharing the resources that are available to us from the state of New Hampshire side of the Economic Development Council. Excuse me. One of the things that we worked on this past week, over the last 5 weeks really, is coming up with our SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We've got a lot of all of those. We're gonna compile a little bit more for the folks that couldn't make it at our last meeting, next meeting, and then take an action on some of the things that we all agree on. One of the things that I've been working on over the last few months is with my friends in Dover. They've created this Dover pamphlet that they hand out to entrepreneurs and businesses that are interested in coming in their area. And this is a little bit of a why. Why would you move to Dover? Why would you do things here? I've created one of these for Ossipee, and what I need from the Board of Selectmen is a letter to the prospective entrepreneur, business owner, welcoming them to start their businesses here. If you'd like to make a copy of this just to see how it's worded and what Dover is doing, it would be a great help to complete the booklet that we're working on.
Good, excellent. We actually already do a letter to the new businesses as they come, which, yeah, I think it's a wonderful idea.
See Ellen to make a copy of it to look at and we can
Do you
review
want
it.
it to be exactly the same as what they get if they come here?
I don't,
No, I think we ought to do for one specific towards, trying to attract them.
Yeah.
This is one that we kind of thank them for coming.
Oh, sure. That's great.
We're gonna get Ellen a copy of like Dover's, or some sort of a format, and we'll work on it.
thank you. New business?
No.
New business?
Sir?
I'll open it to the public. Public input? Quiet. We do have the request for a non-public session, right? Do we? Yes, we do.
You see Kelly back.
For RSA 91A:3, 2C, it's tax matter. I'll poll the board. Bob Freeman?
Yes.
Rick Moran?
Yes.
Frank Riley, yes. We will return just as soon as we possibly can.
Doesn't look like the folder's too thick.
Make a motion to return to public, and we did seal the minutes of the non-public.
Second?
Any additional information from the public?
I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I was appointed to Water and Sewer Commissioner. to take
Good luck,
over
thank you.
For DeWitt, who left.
I heard that somewhere in Dallas. I don't remember where I heard it, but I did hear
I just wanted to let you guys know, I know you'll hear it somewhere along the way.
it. We will.
It came up and I said, sure, I'll do it. Not that it's gonna go very far, we got till January, right?
Correct.
Or December 31st.
That's okay. It's a very important position because we need to be working with you guys to
Well, that's what
make
I
this
told
transition as easy as we can.
Kind of needs to work together, and I've been trying to
Appreciate
go to as many things as I can possibly go to. And I've said the same thing at every one of them. Everybody kind of needs to work together because nobody's working together anymore. So,
I appreciate you coming forward, being willing to do it. We look forward to working with you and the other commissioners and the superintendent to make this transition go smoothly.
yeah, hopefully everything goes well.
I think it will. I really do. I'm convinced it will. Really appreciate it. Thank
I
you.
just figured I'd let you guys
Yep.
know.
Anything else from the public? If not, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.